ಹೆಲೋ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್, ಇವತ್ತು ಕೂಡ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ 2 ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂ ಮಾಡ್ತಾಯಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಫಿಸಿಕ್ಸ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಿ ಯು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ವೀಡಿಯೋ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮತ್ತು ನೆನ್ನೆ ಹಾಕಿರೋ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಬನ್ನಿ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಣ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ನಂಬರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿಗ್ನಿಫಿಕೆಂಟ್ ಫಿಗರ್ಸ್ ಇನ್ 3.20 plus 4.80 into 10 to the power 5. Second one, position time graph for a body moving with positive acceleration is. Third question, for freely falling body fourth one, out of the following which is not scalar quantity. Fifth, during projectile motion, horizontal component of velocity. Sixth one, what is the minimum number of unequal forces whose resultant will be 0. Seventh one, which Newton's law of motion is called law of inertia. Eighth one, we slip on a rainy day due to. Ninth one, the non-contact force encountered in mechanics is. Tenth one, the physical quantity which is expressed as the dot product of force and displacement is. 11th one, if the velocity of a moving body doubled, then the kinetic energy becomes dash times its initial kinetic energy. 13th one revolution is equals to dash radians. 14th one, SI unit of radius of gyration is 15. The moment of inertia of a thin circular ring of mass m and r radius about an axis perpendicular to the plane at its center is. Phillips slope of Vt graph gives. Motion of projectile is dash dimensional. Inertia of an object is quantitative measure of its. 746 watts is equals to dash hp. Rad per second is the SI unit of dash physical quantity. SI unit of mass and plane angle. Next, find the magnitude of given vector. A vector is equals to 3i vector plus 4j vector. Differentiate between scalar and vector. Define impulse of force. Give an example. State and explain Newton's third law of motion. Write the two conditions under which no work is done. What are the conservative forces? Give an example. Differentiate between elastic and inelastic collision. Give the general conditions of mechanical equilibrium of a rigid body. Next, 30th question. Check the correctness of the equation half mv square is equals to mgh dimensionally. Next, 31st question. Draw the graph of motion of an object under free fall for. Next fall for ಆಯ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಕ್ಸಲರೇಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ಟೈಮ್, ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಲಾಸಿಟಿ ವಿತ್ ಟೈಮ್, ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸ್ಪ್ಲೇಸ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ವಿತ್ ಟೈಮ್. 32nd, a car is moving along a straight highway with a speed of 90 km per hour, brought to stop within a distance of 200 meters. What is the acceleration of the car which is assumed to be uniform? 33rd, state and explain triangle law of vector addition. Derive an expression for maximum safe speed of a circular motion of a car on a level road. Write the methods of reducing the friction. State and prove work energy theorem for constant force. Write the kinetic equations of rotational motion with uniform angular acceleration and explain the terms. Obtain the relation between linear velocity and angular velocity of a rotating particles. What is Vt graph? Derive x is equals to v0t plus half at square using Vt graph. Derive an expression for magnitude and direction of resultant of two concurrent vectors. What is centripetal acceleration? Obtain the expression for centripetal acceleration for a particle executing uniform circular motion. State Newton's second law of motion. Derive the relation f vector is equals to ma vector. Show that the total mechanical energy of a freely falling body under gravity is conserved. Define torque, mention its unit, SI unit. Prove that time rate of change of angular momentum of a particle is equals to the torque acting on it. 45th question. A cricketer can throw a ball to a maximum horizontal distance of 100 meter. How much high above the ground can the cricketer throw the same ball? A golf ball of mass 60 gram at rest is hit with a striker. Find the impulse of the hit if the ball stops after traveling a horizontal distance of 50 meter with a uniform retardation of 4 meter per second square. A body of mass 2 kg is initially at rest. A constant force of 5 Newton acts on it for 10 seconds. Calculate the average power of the force. Calculate the kinetic energy of rotation of a circular disc of mass 1 kg and radius 0.2 meter rotating about an axis passing through its center and perpendicular to its plane. The disc makes 30 by pi rotations per minute. Next paper gogana. The unit of length in MKS system. In which of the following example of motion can be considered approximately point object? Third one, the range of projectile is same for angle of projection. During projectile motion, the horizontal component of velocity. Inertia for object is quantitative measure of maximum static friction is called. Area under the curve force displacement graph is equals to a body at rest may have. ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಡಿಲೀಟೆಡ್ ಪೋರ್ಷನ್ಸ್ದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ಅದನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಡಿ. ಈ ಇಯರಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿಡ್ ಟರ್ಮ್ಗೆ ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಲೆಸನ್ನಿಂದ ಯಾವ್ದ್ಯಾವ್ದು ಕ್ವೆಶನ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತಲ್ವಾ, ಅಷ್ಟನ್ನು ಮಾತ್ರ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಬೇರೆ ಲೆಸನ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 9th ಕ್ವೆಶನ್. ವಿಚ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ರಿಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ SI ಯೂನಿಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಜೌಲ್ per second? Dimensional formula of angular momentum is. The relation between linear velocity and angular velocity is. Moment of inertia of thin circular ring of radius r and mass m passing through the diameter is. Next question. The escape velocity of an projectile from the earth is approximately. Gravitational potential is always. Time period of moon around the earth is. The number of significant figures in 220 is. The numerical value of the ratio of average velocity to average speed is always equal to or dash than 1. Next, the minimum number of vectors unequal magnitude required to produce zero resultant is. The value of acceleration due to gravity is dash at the pole than at the equator. Total energy of an circularly orbiting satellite is. Next, third main 2 marks question. Draw the position time graph for positive acceleration and zero acceleration. Write any two difference between scalar and vector. What is impulse? Write its unit, SI unit. Next, state Newton's third law of motion and write one example of it. Next question. Mention two characteristics of inelastic collision. Mention two conditions required for the mechanical equilibrium of rigid body. State and prove Newton's law of gravitation. Write the expression for orbital velocity and explain the terms. Mention the 3 applications of dimensional analysis. A car is moving along a straight line on a highway with speed of 126 km per hour is brought to stop at a distance of 200 meter. What is the retardation of a car? State and explain triangle of vector addition. Derive the expression for magnitude of resultant of two vectors using law of parallelogram. Derive F is equals to ma using Newton's second law of motion. Mention any 3 methods to reduce the friction. Define work done by a force. Mention 2 cases in which work done by the force is 0. Find the torque of force 7 I cap plus 3 j cap minus 5 k cap about the origin. The force acts on a particle whose position is I cap minus j cap plus k cap. State Kepler's law of planetary motion. Next, 5th main. What is VT graph? Derive S is equals to UT plus half AT square by graphical method. What is centripetal acceleration? Derive the expression for it. State and prove law of conservation of linear momentum. Obtain the expression for final velocity of two particles undergoing completely elastic collision in one dimension. What is rigid body? Show that the time rate of change of angular momentum of a particle is equal to torque acting on it. Derive the expression for acceleration due to gravity at a point above the surface of Earth. A football player kicks the ball at an angle of 45 degrees to the horizontal with the initial velocity of 15 meters per second, assuming that the ball travels in vertical place. Next paper, the dimension formula for impulse is velocity of a body at particular instant of time is called rectilinear motion. Is the motion of body is in a vector whose magnitude is 0 is called scalar product of two vectors is banking of road is necessary to provide an external force is required to keep a body in motion. This is the statement of when a moving bus suddenly stops, passenger in it falls in the forward direction. This is due to next a collision in which the two particles move together after the collision is called 11th question. The moment of inertia about an axis perpendicular to plane of circular disk of mass m and radius r at the center is given by a small effort can be used to lift a large load when mechanical advantage of lever is lift. Next, a girl is sitting with folded hands on a swivel chair rotating with considerable angular speed. I and omega are the moment of inertia and angular speed of the chair along with the axis of rotation. She stretches her arms horizontal while the chair is rotating during this. Next question, derive the expression for acceleration due to gravity at a point above the surface of Earth. A football player kicks the ball. Same questions repeat ಆಗಿದೆಯಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ. A football kicks the ball at angle. ಇದೇ ಕ್ವಶನು ಹಿಂದೆ ಇರೋ ಪೇಪರಲ್ಲೂ ಇದೇ ಇತ್ತಲ್ವಾ? ಓಕೆ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ನೋಡಿ. A body of mass 8 kg suspended by a roof of length 2.5 meter from the ceiling. A force of 16 Newton is applied on the body. ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ತುಂಬ ಲೆಂತಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಓದಿದ್ರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಓದೋಕ್ಕಾಗಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ತುಂಬ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ನಿಮಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಮಿಡ್ಟರ್ಮ್ ಹತ್ರ ಬರ್ತಿದೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ನಾನು ಓದ್ಕೋಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ನೀವೇ ಓದ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ಮಾಡಿ, ಹಾಗಂತ ಬರೆಯೋಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ನ ನೋಡಿ ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ, ಆ ಕ್ವಶನ್ಸ್ನ ಆನ್ಸರ್ಸ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲನೂ ಬರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕುತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ, ಓದ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ಮುಗಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೋ ಮಚ್. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ ಅವರೆಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು. ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಇಷ್ಟ ಆದರೆ ಲೈಕ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತು ಕಮೆಂಟಲ್ಲಿ ಎಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಕಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ ಅಂತ ನಾನು ನೋಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ವಿಡಿಯೋನ ವ್ಯೂಸ್ ನೋಡಿ ನಾನು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾ ಬೇಡವಾ ಅಂತ ಡಿಸೈಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.